I'm Gemma Griffiths, and welcome back to another episode of Hello Hi with Gemma, the space where we sit down with extraordinary voices, unpack the journey, and explore the mindset behind the music and the creative arts. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube so you can join the growing community of Hello Hi. Today's conversation feels long overdue. We're not only celebrating an artist, but honoring a woman who has grown, evolved, and led in an industry we both know intimately. Someone whose discipline, grace, and resilience quietly and powerfully have shaped a generation. Please welcome the incredible Tamy Moyo. Hello, hi!
Hello, hi, Gemma.
Mauya. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
It's so good to sit down with you finally.
Finally.
And yeah, it feels kind of full circle. We watched each other grow in this industry, and now we're finally sitting down on our own terms.
Yeah.
Let's get right back to the beginning. Before we jump in, how would you describe the Zimbabwe that raised you and the little girl who first dreamed of music?
3 words. Full of life.
Yes.
The Zimbabwe that raised me was very much full of life. It was very community centered. We were raised by our neighbors, extended family. And for me personally, in the music space, I was raised by a great amount of people who've done incredibly for themselves, some who are not with us anymore. I was raised by the jazz community, your Dudu Manengas, your Prudence Katumenis, your Oliver Mtukuzis as well. Some of them mentored me at some point in my life. I started my journey very early when I was 7. And I remember thinking to myself, when I was watching them doing what they're doing, performing, writing music, making music, I just remember telling myself, I want to be like them when I grow up.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of community around me and a lot of love as well. A lot of reception from my peers who came before me. They're not really my peers, to be honest. I look at them as father figures, mother figures. And yeah, that's the Zimbabwe I grew up in.
Yeah.
Full of life.
Yes, full of life.
Yeah.
When did that shift happen? The shift from just loving music to understanding that your voice had the power to move people and influence and even lead?
I always knew that I carried something special because people would say it to me all the time. My parents mostly. I remember my mom just saying, look, you can do this. She would speak life into me. But I think I deliberately and consciously made that decision when I was 17.
Wow.
That was in lower 6 at school. That was before my first album, which was called The 18th Roller Coaster. And I remember thinking to myself, I can actually do this and actually use my voice as a platform, something that I can use to send out a powerful message to those who are watching, those who care enough to listen. So when I was 17, I decided that this is what I wanted to do. And there's been no stopping me since.
Yes, girl.
And here we are now, and I'm grateful for everything that I've been through.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And no stopping you going forward.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you started when you were 7, and at 7 years old, you were performing on a stage at the iconic Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
With the Uganda African Choir. That's not an everyday childhood experience.
Yeah.
What do you remember feeling in that moment, and what do you think in some way that experience set the standard for the scale of your dreams?
Can I be very honest? That's a very blurry memory for me.
You were 7.
I was 7. But I remember thinking to myself, because it's what, over 20,000 people? Almost close to 40,000 people. I remember standing on that stage and thinking to myself, I hope that I can achieve this in my own capacity someday. I hope that this can be Tamy headlining Madison Square Garden at some point. And it's something I'm still working towards. But in that moment, that very moment, I remember thinking to myself, when is this show gonna end? I need a snack. I need to go to the mall or something. I need to hang out with my friends, because I was only 7. I was in grade 2.
Yeah.
But I remember very well. Also looking at the pictures, backstage area, some of the greatest to ever do it. I remember looking at a picture of Michael Jackson.
Wow. Yeah.
And I said, I hope one day this will be me.
Yeah.
And I've carried that feeling right up until this
Yeah.
point in this very day.
In your bones.
Yes.
It's in your bones.
Yeah.
You've had some defining moments.
Mhm.
Libereke, multiple hit songs and awards, international stages.
Yeah.
But success can look loud from the outside and feel very differently internally.
Yeah.
What did success feel like to you in the early moments? And has that definition changed as you've grown?
Initially, success looked like what everybody expected it to look like. It was the traveling, the awards, the big shows. But where I am in my life now, like you're asking, success is very different for me now. It's all about me, less about what everybody thinks about what I should look like, what success should look like on the external. For me is about how I feel internally. When I do what I do, am I fulfilled? Do I feel great in that moment? Do I have honest conversations with myself? Can I build from an honest place? Where am I? Peace. Am I at peace with what I'm doing? Am I happy internally? When I get up on stage, my job is to give and bring joy to other people, but do I feel it internally?
Yeah.
So that's something that happiness is not a constant,
Yeah.
but it's learning to live in the moment that it is present with you. So success looks more like peace, love, joy, spending time with the people I love, and allowing myself to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredibly important.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, what were the quieter moments, the doubts, the pressure, the parts that people don't see?
One of them was navigating social media. Yeah.
That's a big one.
Navigating social media. I think understanding that you don't have to take everything that you're reading online about yourself. It's giving yourself grace on a constant. It's okay, maybe I didn't get this right, but how do I do better? Is this an honest opinion of my craft and what somebody thinks of me, or it's somebody who's just projecting, someone who has a platform, who's easily using their platform to just say and slander? So learning to filter. And I think obviously like the anxiety of releasing a body of work, that's been crazy for me. I think 4 bodies of work, solid bodies of work,
Yes,
but
girl.
the pressure of it is real. It's how do I outdo
Yeah.
my last piece of work? Is it good enough? Am I putting my best foot forward? And I think that's been very tough. I've had to learn to be easy with myself.
Yeah.
Especially when I don't get the outcome I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as a creative as well, to like, you can often be your own harshest critic, and you're seeing all of the behind the scenes and all of the struggles, and you've got an idea in your head and trying to make that come to life. And you know what I mean? There is a lot sometimes of self-doubt, and is it enough, and perfectionism in a way, and just at some point releasing, because it's vulnerable. You're creating
Exactly
a piece of yourself and releasing it to the public, of which you then have no control over how anybody takes
how
it.
they react. True.
Yeah, but I think you're so right to have grace for yourself, because social media is a rough thing. It's a rough thing. Sometimes we can just, you know what I mean? And I think often it's been a lesson for me as well. Sometimes it's just like, go offline for a bit.
Yeah.
Like if something big is coming out or something, it's like, I actually do I need to ingest this right now? Is this for me, or is it actually not even for me?
Yeah.
You know. Your sound is distinct. It's Afro soul and R&B and pop, but it's more than that. It feels intentional. When you're building a project, how much of that is instinct and how much of it is strategy?
Over time, I think I've had to balance the two. Initially, it was just instinct. But as a young lady, as a young woman, I had to become very intentional about what I'm saying and how I'm saying it, how I'm putting it out. So I'm very blessed to have a very strong group of individuals come together, working with me as a team, to make sure that if my head is not in it, they're there for me. The strategy part of it is covered when I can't show up in that manner. So it's a bit of both. It's instinct and it's strategy. But
100%.
as an artist, as a creative, you lean towards instinct more.
Yeah.
Because this is art.
Yeah.
There is no proper way to do it. There is no right way to do it. So allow yourself to be. Be free when you make music. Be free about how you release your music. But the landscape also kind of pushes you to be very, intentional about how you do it. So it's a bit of both. I'll say 60-40.
60-40, 60 instinct, 40 strategy.
Yeah,
because I guess you're making big decisions for a brand.
Yes.
At the same time of like having these inner feelings of music and creativity, and it's finding that balance.
Yeah.
Of which you're doing it.
Thank you.
I would say. I've always said this about you. You are a formidable live performer.
Thank you.
There is confidence and emotional depth that really connects. What does the stage unlock in you that we don't always see off stage?
That's intense. I think the stage brings out the purest and most honest side of me. I think it's when I'm most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, you're experiencing live reactions of whatever it is that you bring to the table.
Yeah.
So if somebody is not feeling it, they're not feeling it.
Yeah.
And you're going to see that reaction and you can feel it. So I think I would say the purest and most honest and authentic side of myself as well, because I feel so free. I feel liberated. I feel myself. It's when I'm most comfortable in my body. And like I said, vulnerable, because in that moment you have to think as well. You have to think on your feet to say, maybe this is not working out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, okay, we rehearsed this, but is it going to work in this very moment?
Yeah.
Or I need to switch it up a little bit. So I think it's a little bit of being vulnerable, but mostly honest and authentic. It brings out the most honest side of me.
Yes. Yeah. And I think you're so right about thinking on your feet, because not only are you facing like, how are the crowd going to be, and you have no control over that. As much as you can play with the crowd and see how we can, okay, they're really loving this sort of vibe, let's move it around. But you're also dealing with like shows where things are going wrong and all of a sudden something's running late or the sound is going funny. I was at a show recently and the whole front of house just wasn't working for the whole show. So we were just monitors.
It's crazy.
But the crowd was so happy that it's like, okay, cool. But it's really like having to navigate this entire thing in front of a bunch of people.
Yes.
You're a content creator as well. You're a brand ambassador in your own right. And you've built this presence beyond music. How do you approach content today with your expression, with your strategy?
Content. Wow.
Content.
That's something I never thought would have to navigate as creatives. Usually it was just give the people music, disappear. Give the people music, disappear. But presence counts for so much more. So I will say I'm in my head a lot about content. It's thinking outside the box. It's less of instinct, like you asked earlier on, and more of strategy. It's how are people gonna feel about this? But once in a while, you use it for expression. If you watch some of my old clips online, you realize that we've been content creators since the beginning of this whole thing. We've been making the TikToks without TikTok before we discovered TikTok, the platform. But we've been making content. But now I guess it's more deliberate, more intentional. It's what's the wave? What's happening in the world? How do I be a part of that conversation? So it's thinking, it's strategy, and less expression. Yes, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think because that is the part that is like, I'm trying to communicate who I am as a brand.
Exactly.
What I represent, and that's it does take time to sort of realize like what are the areas that I really want to speak on. To all of these people.
And I have to say it involves being a part of a global conversation, right? And sometimes it doesn't always relate. And you can't jump on every wave that's there. You can't be doing every TikTok that's out. You can't be doing every dance that's out. But so you have to kind of weigh what's happening around you and see how you can fit into that conversation without taking away from your creativity, without taking away from your art. Because there's two sides to it. You can easily end up looking like a content creator more than you are. A musician, a creative. So you have to be careful with that balance.
100%. And also I think protecting like your mental space in it all, because as somebody who is leading with music to then, you know, content takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of thought, and it can very easily take over the time that you're then meant to be spending in your creative space. And so I think having a season or having a time for things, I often try and like have a few days a month where I'll be like, okay, now I'm focusing on content, now I'm focusing on studio, and you know, and you can separate them in a way. Okay, we've spoken content, we've spoken brand ambassador, we've spoken music and performance. You are also an actor. You stepped into acting with Gonarezhou. Girl, you do it all. It's amazing. Which speaks to the range of your creative curiosity. What did that experience teach you about storytelling and about yourself as a creative?
I think storytelling is an essential and powerful part of everyday life. Getting into that character and that role allowed me to play something that people live on a daily basis. So it leaves you with so much awareness on things that you didn't take seriously before. You become very sensitive to the matter at hand. So I think it just taught me to, you know, be sensitive to whatever's happening around me. There's so much more life outside of me, and storytelling is powerful because it's a way to communicate something that's happening not too far from you. That's the crazy thing about it. It's the things that are happening around us are not too far from us. If you just take time to listen, pay attention. These are real stories, and real people living these things. So bringing awareness, storytelling is a powerful way to bring awareness to things that need to be told on a daily basis, things that we take for granted. You know, so I thought Gonarezhou was a powerful story.
It absolutely was. And it's human nature. Storytelling is something that we've passed through generations, and it's something we do with art. And incredibly important. A massive shout out to our sponsor for this episode. Click send now for quick, instant, and affordable money transfers to Zimbabwe. Big love. And going back to music, the industry is so demanding, especially for women. How have you learned to carry authority in rooms where you might have been underestimated and still protect your authenticity?
Wow. To be a woman. I think it's tough. It's tough navigating the creative space as a woman. But like I said, I've also come to learn that even just outside of the creative space, the professional space in itself as a woman is tough to navigate. But I think lead with confidence. You wouldn't be in that room if they also didn't believe that you could be in the room. So lead with confidence, lead with substance, and lead with authenticity. Tell your story, how you know best too, and don't apologize for that. When you speak and you walk with authority, I think people can feel it. They can sense it. So don't apologize for your presence and your story.
And to lead with substance, I think, is a really good way to look at it as well. Because you can't really argue with that. You know, you can't, as much as someone might try to challenge it, there's so much depth that comes with it if you're bringing your own experience. Do you think that Zimbabwe truly celebrates its women artists loudly enough? And in your eyes, what does real recognition look like beyond the awards and the highlights?
I want to be honest. At the beginning of my journey, because I started so early, I did see the difference between males and females in the space, how they were treated. But now, in this day and age, and I'm so thankful, so grateful that I get to be a part of that. I see the shift. It might not move at the pace we wanted to, but I see the shifts. I mean, I remember doing Nubian Notes with you. That was incredible. That was history in the making. We had a good turnout, an incredibly good turnout for an all-female lineup. So I think there's been a shift, and people are starting to recognize our efforts as females. They're rallying strongly behind the female cause and the female creatives. I think over time, success, I think two things that success can look like for females beyond the headlining the shows and the awards, maybe consistency. Consistent opportunities for females, not just a season. Let it not just die with us in this phase where we're saying Nubian Notes. Let it be a continuous thing. Let people rally behind females from this period into the future and forever. And I know this is gonna ruffle up some feathers, but I think consistency and fair amount of resources and payment towards females.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the disparity is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But
100%.
if you're listening and you're out there, we put in the work.
We're putting,
The hair, the
yes,
makeup,
girl.
the costumes, the rehearsals.
We're also doing it in heels.
Exactly. That's time, money, effort. And I feel like it would be great for those making the decisions, key decision makers, to think about that when they say, okay, this is how I'm going to remunerate you as a performer, not just as a female, but as a performer.
Yeah.
Look into it. See how much effort somebody is putting into their craft. We bring our 110%.
100%.
And I feel like the paper also needs to make sense.
Yes, absolutely. And I think sometimes there's also this like misconception of like the artist is Tamy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it stops. But you forget about the like, or people often don't realize, or they don't think about the immense amount of teamwork that it's taken to get that person on stage. You know, you are not an island in this. You are functioning with multiple people with multiple roles to bring this performance together.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll find people being like, no, we just want Gemma.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm a team.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can't do everything by yourself. And I don't know whether it's just a thing that people aren't aware of, because obviously the music industry is also this thing that everybody looks at and they're like, oh my gosh, you know, it's gotten all these sort of, people have wild ideas in their heads, and it's sort of also debunking a lot of that and being like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, because you know, even in production as well, there's life beyond just the performance side of it. When you do production, when you do video production, that it takes a lot.
A huge amount of work.
It takes a lot for me to give you this incredible visual that you're all enjoying. We're pushing streams online, we're pushing views online. There's a team behind that, you know, and it's a powerful way to get people to come together, you know, visionaries, your music directors, your producers, they all need to get paid. Yeah. So think about that. Something to think about. Something to think about very heavily. And I'm always I feel like sometimes I'm a broken record talking about like promoters and the way that they, you know, often we have with our Zimbabwean promoters as well, like, you know, they'll have one female on a lineup with 10, 12 men, and that needs to shift. You know, because also the women who are in this space have had to fight extra hard to get there. So best believe, and I've seen all of them live, they're gonna give a damn good show. 100%. Off the top of your head, if you had to go really quickly with no filter, 3 things you would change about the music industry. Infrastructure. I think it would do us a lot of good to have more academies, more studios, affordable spaces where we can rehearse. I see a lot of young talent coming up, a lot of incredible artists, but sometimes maybe it's tough to get into a rehearsal space. It's tough to get into a studio. So something to think about. Exchange programs. Exposure can do a lot for you as a creative. So having a lot of that, when you travel, when you get to experience how other people do it, when you get to just go and experience the Grammys before you even think about getting one yourself, just experience that. That would be awesome. Walking into these important rooms, exposure is very, very important for a creative. Is that 3 things? I don't know, but they were all great. Okay. I was just getting wrapped up into it. For as long as I've known you, you've used your platform to uplift others, from advocacy to amplifying women's voices. Right now, what is a cause that feels deeply personal to you and something that if people are watching, you'd want them to really support? I think I've spoken about it a bit. Gender equality, issues to do with gender equality, just being given fair opportunities as females. But I think more so mental health. 100%. There is a lot going on around the world. So many things we were not taught to navigate, especially for my generation. There's a lot going on, you know. The world is changing. The world is shifting. We used to read books, and now we are on social media taking in all this information. Somebody's doing better than me. Somebody's got this, and I don't have this. Beyond that, it's just speaking on what's going on with us internally and not feeling shame for doing it. What happens to Gemma when she's away from the fan interactions, when she's not in studio making music? How do you feel internally?
Yeah.
What are the conversations you are having with yourself? Can you be honest enough with yourself to say, in this season and in this period, I'm not okay?
Yeah.
So, mental health. There's always someone ready to listen. There's too many platforms where people are sharing information, even online and in person. Do not feel ashamed for going through something emotionally, mentally. There's always an outlet.
100%. And I
There's
also think
always an outlet,
with mental health and the way that sometimes like it's viewed as this thing as you have to deal with it yourself, and there's almost shame in going and seeking help. Whereas humans are not created to live in isolation. They're created, we are meant to be in community. We're meant to lean on people to ask for help and I think it is so important to say as well, you know, and there are also amazing, like I know, for example, in Harare, there are amazing places like Friendship Bench where you can actually go and get free therapy or join therapy sessions, like group sessions, or just sit and talk to somebody. And it's an incredibly healing thing. God really designed us to heal through community and through talking.
True.
When you look back at the younger version of yourself, what is something now as the woman you've become that you think should be very proud of?
Okay, one, surviving heartache.
Yes, girl. Survivor.
Surviving heartache. I always say this, I wouldn't be here without that experience. I think it was a necessary part of my journey. But I think most importantly, above that, perseverance.
Yeah.
The ability to keep going even when I didn't feel like I could keep going. There's so many things that happen behind closed doors, so many conversations that come to you without you even looking for the conversation. The pressure, surviving that pressure, never giving up on myself. There's too many days when I've woken up and I said to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe I'm not built for this. Maybe this is as far as I can go. But time and time again, I choose to show up.
Yeah.
Even in my lowest, I choose to show up. And I'm very proud of that, because I also went through a season when I really could not show up. And I thought maybe this is the end for me.
Wow.
You know, this is the end of the journey. Let me do other things. Let me explore other things. But I always came back to the thing I love the most. Yeah.
Amazing. And I think there is this this conversation I heard recently that sort of said sometimes the difference between two good artists and one of them gets to go far is that perseverance, and that because it's also not this like steady uphill climb. No, you know, you'll release a project, it'll go amazingly, the next project might not.
Oh yes.
And it's that still going even when, you know, sometimes you feel like you've gone downwards and then you've got to climb back up. And I think as well as artists, we always have this even though on the outside it might look like, okay, she's where she wants to be, we're always looking at what the next thing is and the next thing is, you know. And it's that ability to pull into yourself and be like, I can still do this, I got this, and you're doing it.
True.
What would you tell that little girl, that little Tammy, about patience and discipline and protecting her vision?
Exactly that. Be patient.
Yeah.
Protect your authenticity above everything else.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to come with an opinion. They're going to say what they feel you should do next.
Yeah.
What you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. But the only person who truly knows what they want and where they're going is you. So protect the vision.
Yeah.
And my dad always used to say to me, time and chance.
Time and chance.
Time and chance happens to them all. It's a verse in the Bible.
Yeah.
And I never really used to understand that until I began to experience it. I went through seasons of nothingness.
Yeah.
It was quiet. There was nothing happening for me. Well, at least I felt like that. Maybe on the outside it didn't look like that. But time and chance.
Yeah.
Wait it out. Clap for others when you can.
Yeah.
And wait for your turn. So be patient.
100%. And I think if you're building something that's going to last a long time, there will be those moments, and to also to be able to step back and look at the bigger picture and be like, this is only a small season in a very long career, in a long life.
Yes.
That might have multiple careers, different things. Now let's zoom all the way out. When people look back on your journey, not just the music, but the way you've moved, the way you've built, what do you want them to feel about your journey and to learn about the life and career of Tamy Moyo?
The same way I used to look at some of my mentors and still do. I want them to feel inspired. I want them to feel like if she can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to my story that people don't know about.
Yeah.
So on the surface, everything looks like it's smooth, it's easygoing. I've always had it, in the bag. I've always known what to do. But I have such a powerful story to share with people. And I think one day when I'm ready to share the greater part of that journey, I want people to feel inspired. I hope that my strength gives them strength. They look at my journey and they're inspired, I guess.
Yes, girl. If you were to say, this is the legacy of Tamy Moyo, when you're finished on stage, 20 years have passed, 30 years have passed, and you're sitting back and you're like, that's the legacy that I want to live past me.
Yeah.
What is that?
Zimbabwean royalty.
Yes, girl.
That is it.
Yes, girl.
Whenever I get to where I'm getting to, God willing, I want people to say she did it. She represented us at the highest level. She showed the world that Zimbabwe has so much to offer. And there is more to come. And it's not just me. There's plenty coming before, after me. So, Zimbabwean royalty.
Zimbabwean royalty.
Yes.
To end off the episode, we always do a really fun quick fire round of just some fun Zimbabwean bits.
Okay.
So what is your favorite Zimbabwean snack?
I have too many.
Okay. You can give us a few snacks.
Is it a snack? I don't think it's a snack. I enjoy a good pork pie.
Hey. Yes, girl.
And maputi.
Yes, girl. I love it. What is a song that is currently on repeat?
A local song? International song?
One of each? Whatever you want.
International, I'll have to go with I love you. I love you. I love you. That's Thames.
Yes, Thames.
Lagos Love.
Yes, girl.
I just want to put it out there. I love everything. Learn Jana.
Yes.
Including a song with Sakura. I do.
Yeah.
I think they're doing it. I think they're killing it. I love that. There's a lot of just, different sounds coming from that side. So I love your song with Sakura.
Oh, thanks, girl.
I think it's awesome.
I appreciate it.
Locally,
yeah.
It's not an old song, but I find myself singing it quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, mama.
Yes.
I love that song. I think it's good vibes.
I'm loving this. I feel like I'm getting a concert.
Yeah.
What is your go-to outfit that you put on when you want to feel powerful?
Heels.
Yes, girl.
Heels.
Yes, girl.
I don't do it often, but when I do, it's go time.
Yes.
It's show time.
One place in Zimbabwe everybody should see once in their lifetime.
I've never really thought about that. But I'll have to say, it's so cliche. But every time I'm there, I'm so at peace and at ease. Big Falls. Yeah. Big Falls.
Yeah. What's your tunya?
The air is different.
The air is different.
The people are different.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Nature there is different.
And there's so much to see, You can just walk around and be like, okay, God.
You have to. I think everybody has to experience Big Falls at some point in their life.
100%. And I think we've touched on it, but a cause that genuinely matters to you right now.
Mental health.
Yeah.
Mental health. Yeah. Protect that. Protect that. That is the place from which your ideas come from. That is where all the important decisions you have to make in life come from. This body and the things that we do on the outside, it's just a shell. but who you really are is in your consciousness, your mind. And if you don't speak positively to that person on the inside, you've killed everything. You've killed the inside, you've also killed the outside. So protect your peace, protect your mind. Be around people who make you feel like sunshine and flowers. Be around people who water you, people who speak life into you, people who are good to you. And also be a good person to people who are good to you. And you can't be that if you're pouring from an empty cup. So protect your mind, the things that you watch on social media, the conversations you are having outside of social media. Be careful of that. So protect the mind, because that's where it comes from.
Yes, girl. And like, even just speaking about yourself, you had said, like, speaking kindly to yourself. I heard this thing that said, if you spoke to yourself the way you would speak to a friend that you dearly loved, would you say any of those things? And it's a really good way to sometimes be like, wait a second, I need to stop being so harsh on myself. I need to stop and just be like, wait, she's doing the things. If this was my friend, what would I say to her? Thank you so much. This has been so delicious, so lovely. Yes, girl. Thank you guys so much for joining Hello Hi with Gemma and the amazing Tamy Moyo. As a little thank you, because we love giving back with Hello Hi, we've partnered up with My Trees, which is a non-profit who are reforesting 1 million indigenous trees around Zimbabwe. So we're going to plant a Tamy Moyo tree. Yay!
And it's the first one.
Yes, girl. It's a Tamy tree.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for joining.
Thanks,
and
Emil.
big love. Bye. Mwah.